Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show as I, Puma, along with Blackthorn Ice Water, going directly to hot takes. Black, what's your hot take this week, man?
You know, it's interesting. Things have cooled down after the Super Bowl. Some coaches, assistant coaches, have been fired. Kind of start to spring my attention a little more to the NBA. But one thing I know about the NBA is that it seemed like the referees, man, are getting called out this season more so in the past. And I think there was a game with the Knicks where they actually came back and apologized for missing a call. Is it to the point where now that players and coaches are just complaining too much, or referees are starting to slip up a little bit in there?
Ice, what's your thoughts?
Man, I think it's a little bit of both, but I really think it's the coaches complaining a lot, players complaining. Because let's be real, depending on the game, then that's when they think it's really important, right? So it's like the same call that you call during the regular season. Like if a guy's, if he's pass interference holding a wide receiver and he grabs his jersey twice, because it's a Super Bowl, you're supposed to let that go. I'm like, come on, man. The call is the call. Well, they playing it too tight. No, if you grab the jersey one time, dude spin away from you, and you try to get away from you, get some separation. They can't make the same call. I don't know. I see it both ways, but I think these coaches, especially some of these players, get a little temperamental. Not saying they're not making bad calls, but what you gonna do?
I think it's gotten out of control. They're not calling games the way they're supposed to call it, and this is what you get. You let the players get away with certain things. You let things go, and then now it gets out of control. Now you're getting complaints, because you're paying preferential treatment to certain players in the league. They can travel, they can charge, they can do all this stuff. You look up in the fourth quarter, they get their first foul. Like, are you kidding me? Seeing this guy just massacre people all throughout the game, and I ain't gonna say who is the main culprit, but it happens. And so it's gotten out of control. Why don't you do this, NBA? The referees, NBA, call the calls, call traveling, call everything in basketball, because you got these knuckleheads. If you go out there and play basketball, some of these knuckleheads, they're doing the same moves. You call travel, they want to argue with you. They want to argue with you, argue done. They ain't travel. James Harden do it all the time. James Harden is traveling. It's all of them. So you let them get away with this. Now you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It is out of control right now. So what you need to do is say, okay, we're going to have some meetings and this is what we're calling, regardless of who is doing it or what's happening. We're calling carrying, we're calling travel, we're calling fouls, damn slowing down the game. Just call the game the way it's supposed to be called and you wouldn't have this problem, Black.
I would always assume that when you're a professional, you don't travel. Some of these ticky-tacky things, you don't do it as a professional. That's why they call you professional. And you're right. They've gotten away with it for so long. So now the whistleblower's like, wait a minute. I've been doing that 1,000 times. Yes, they didn't call them. And now some of these things that they haven't called, they are calling. That's what it really comes down to. These players have been spoiled. And the coaches were basically letting them go out there and do anything as long as the fans are, drinking the beer and eating the popcorn. And now these refs are like, you know what? No, I see something, I'm calling it. And I think a lot of it, too, is that now you have the chance to be challenged. They want to be challenged less. So they're not giving opportunities for it to be challenged. So they kind of tighten things up a little bit.
Ice, what's your hot take, man?
So my hot take is, stay with the NFL. There are a number of free agent quarterbacks that are going to be lingering around the season coming up next year. So my question is, what do you think about some of them and where they might go? Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, Ryan Tannehill, Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins, and the illustrious Jameis Winston.
Black.
For some reason, Kirk Cousins finds a way to get somewhere, breaking the deal. He has made more money, if we think about it, as a quarterback in the NFL in the past, 5 to 10 years, and has done less, has achieved less. So Kirk Cousins, I'm sure his agent's going to work something out. He's going to land. Outside of him and Minshew, I think the rest of them forget about it, bro. I mean, they can fight for a backup position. You got a good crop of young quarterbacks come on the league now. And the thing about these young quarterbacks, you can put them on the contract for cheap for the next 4 to 5 years. I mean, you look at, Brock Purdy. To me, Brock Purdy has basically broke down some gates in a good way and a bad way. Because now you can take a quarterback in the 6th round. You can find him in the 5th or 6th round and don't pay him for several years. Come on with that. And the NFL is a monkey see, monkey do league. So when one monkey does it well, the rest of the monkeys follow. So I think a lot of these quarterbacks, man, other than Kirk Cousins, they may not find themselves on a team, bro. They may not find themselves on a team.
Hold on to your hat, Black. I read a report that Kirk Cousins might be in the running for the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. And I'm like, no, y'all can't do that. They just cut Trubisky. You're going to get Kirk Cousins? No, you just can't do that. I don't know if they said they're going to let the guy that's quarterbacking now, the guy from Pitt, that, is not taking his job. It's just to have a veteran quarterback back there. Yeah, I don't see any market for some of the quarterbacks that they have out now, and how they're going to really kind of help any teams unless they become so inspired that they start playing lights out football. But I don't look at any of these free agent quarterbacks as really kind of helping out, except Brissett. Brissett usually goes somewhere, helps the team for about 4 or 5 games, and then he rides out into the sunset. But Ice, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, no, I mean Kirk Cousins, as you said, will end up somewhere because he good for 8 weeks, bro, maybe 9. Might even get 9 victories or couldn't close to 9 victories, and that's worthwhile. Question is, does Pittsburgh have that kind of money to spend? Because he's not gonna come cheap. You can't tell him nothing right now. He's at least this is what I can do, a little bit to at least keep you in games. I think Minshew's gonna end up on the squad somewhere. I mean, you don't want Minshew as your starter, but he can win a couple games. Kind of remind me of the modern day now Fitzmagic, right? Fitzpatrick. That's what he reminds me of, the modern day Fitzmagic. So you want to keep him around. Tannehill, go to the Bears, be a backup. They always can use one of those. But other than that, I don't think Baker Faker gonna be somewhere too, because he did all right. I mean, it wasn't pretty, but he got his money. And I understand now that Tampa's having a real big issue because they wanted to sign the wide receiver Evans back, and Evans is like, "Nah, y'all got to bring that money." And they're like, "Oh, we don't know." But now I think the contracts have lapsed, so now to the point where if they do resign, they're going to count against the cap, right? So they're going to have to come out and figure out something because they didn't sign them like they were supposed to by a certain deadline. So that's going to be interesting. So that means you might end up having to release somebody like a Baker.
Yeah, funny you mentioned the cap. The top 5 teams that have the most cap space, according to CBS Sports, the Commanders are number 1, the Tennessee Titans, the Bears are number 3 with like 66 million, the Patriots, and then the Bengals. The teams with the least are the New Orleans Saints, the Miami Dolphins. You remember they went on that buying spree a couple of years ago and trying to buy a lot of players. The Buffalo Bills, so that's not going to help them trying to get back in the playoffs next year. The Chargers, and then the Denver Broncos. So those are the ones with the least cap space. So they're like underwater at this particular time. So look for those teams to start really kind of getting rid of players, try to get some money under the cap so they can get some quality players to help them along.
All right, I'm gonna tell you right now, Pittsburgh. If you basically believe in Kenny Pickett, there's something wrong with you, bro. He's got to go too. Yeah, Rudolph got to go as well. But that's the Steelers of late.
They were talking about Tannehill too, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't know what's going on there. There were talks about that they're really sold on, and they're trying to work out a trade with the Chicago Bears. I think a 2nd and 4th pick to get Jason Fields over there. I hope they do that. I really do, because if you're talking about Tannehill and Cousins, man, it's going to be another rough year for Steelers fans. Let's go to the NBA eye test. And me and Black were talking earlier, Ice, about how we don't even watch the All-Star game. I don't even watch the dunk contest. I don't watch any of the festivities. The last time I watched a All-Star game was when Magic retired and they voted him back in the next year and he started playing. Before that, I don't even know when I watched it. To me, Ice, it seems like they're cheating the game. When you have scores like 200 to 180 something, there's no defense. The best players aren't going against each other and showing, their skills. It's just like almost a Super Bowl. It's an event. It's an event that people come to, and you got to be seen at this particular event in order to be important. And the game is being cheated by these players. They're privileged. People just want to see us out there with a ball. Who cares? Your thoughts?
Normally, I would never ever say that, but this game this year, yeah, it looked like that because all they were doing is the East was just shooting threes and they're hitting a bunch of them. And then people were just like, it wasn't even like a pickup game, right? It was more or less just like, you come down, I shoot, you shoot, and if we make it, great. And then everybody's laughing and joking. I'm like, where's the competitive juices flowing? I know this is ancient, and some of y'all listening will never ever understand this because of the fact that it was so long ago. But do me a favor. You got YouTube. Everybody has YouTube. Y'all Google and everything. Go back and watch. There's an NBA All-Star game. I think it was 1971, 72, something like that. It was held at the out in LA at the Forum. And had all the old guys out there, the Havliceks of the world. Even Jalen Rose daddy, Jimmy Walker, was playing. You talk about competitive, coming in the lane, busting upside your head, trying to come in soft, you're gonna get hurt. That was a man's game. That was a real game. And they was like going at it like, you come in the lane and, oh, well, I'm this, or I'm this great guy. Bob Lanier, Artis Gilmore was like, come in here with that junk. I don't care, it is an all-star game. I'm a man, you're not gonna come in here like that. That was amazing. This stuff now, I don't get. The only thing I really watched, I saw some highlights of the dunk contest. The only thing I really watched, and I called it late, was, I don't know who the young lady was.
Ionescu.
They have Ionescu versus Steph Curry. The last 3 racks that Steph Curry shot, bruh, he is the baddest mother on the planet right now when it comes to shooting, dude. Because he was off a little bit, and everybody was talking about, oh, I think he's going to get it. Reggie Miller, people was hating. That dude was like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I was like, yeah, that was worth it. You don't do nothing else. Go back and watch that. That was an amazing last 3 racks. I've never seen anything like that, except for maybe Larry Bird.
Black, I remember, we used to root for the guys that made the All-Star team. We wanted our favorite player. It was Dr. J. It was Walt Frazier. It was Earl to Pearl Monroe. It was Bernard King. It was these guys that we wanted to make the All-Star team because we watched them regionally. We knew they earned it, and we wanted to see how they went up against the best players. Your thoughts about the All-Star game, man?
Man, I think the best thing I saw a video prior to the All-Star game was actually Curry when he was younger. His father was playing an All-Star game. His father was 3-point shooting. And he was sitting there at courtside. Must have been about 7, 8 years old, next to Alonzo Mourning. Best video. So to me, that's it right there, bro. Bring back some more video clips because the game itself, is the competitiveness, no. And these cats here, to me, it's a kind of parallel what goes on to regular season. A lot of these games aren't competitive, bro. A lot of these teams, they go out there, I mean, especially if they play back-to-back. I don't understand that. I don't understand if you played a basketball game Monday night, you can't come back and play Tuesday night and be competitive. I don't understand it. I mean, with exercise where it is, the machines, the trainers, all these, that you have at your disposal now, how that happens, I don't get it. So it's not even that. It's the mentality now where it's like short play when you want to play. So I'm not surprised the All-Star game. And then we talk about defense, even in a regular basketball game. Look at how many scores now in these games now, 140. 150. Realistically, I mean, what defense is like? It's a shame. The game is a shame. And I know, we're older gentlemen and we're sitting around from what we learned and what we saw. But at some point, man, you allow the team basically to average, 50 points a quarter? Think about that. That's just like, I mean, what defense? If you look at Milwaukee getting rid of their coach, talking about, they weren't doing some things. But what team is playing defense? No one in NBA. I mean, back in the day, and I hate to go use that phrase, but you knew players that was going to play defense. That was just all they was going to play. They might have been both sides do offense too, but you knew when you played against this player, like a Walt Frazier, you're going to get some defense coming at you. Now, naming the players in the NBA that play well defense. Realistically, it's not even 5. You probably can't think of 5 that out there that play rebound, box out. So no, these cats, I mean, don't get me wrong, NBA's making money. They're making their money. So it's about, me getting my attention, getting my brand out there. That's what it's about, and that's what the game is.
Yeah, let's look at the conferences and the conference leaders. You got the Celtics. We're at the halfway point of the NBA season. The Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Bucks at number 3, 8.5 games out of first place. The Knicks, number 4. You got the Sixers, the Pacers, the Heat, and the Magic at number 8. Surprisingly, you got the Bulls at number 9 and the Hawks at number 10. Let's go over to the West. You got the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Clippers, who have been really playing great basketball, 73 in the last 10. They're only 2 games behind the Timberwolves, followed by the Nuggets, the Suns, the Pelicans, the Mavericks, the Kings, the Lakers are number 9, and the Warriors at number 10. What are some of the things that you expect to happen in the second part of the season, Black?
I think you're going to see in the West. I think it's going to start to stabilize a little bit. You're going to see the Lakers make a move, not make a move for as a trade, but I think they're going to come up a couple of slots too. I don't think they want to be in the play this season. I think they're going to kind of step up. I'm going to look for New Orleans. I didn't hear you mention it. I think down the stretch you're going to see them do some more games. I think Minnesota might even drop 4 more games to come out of that slot. Man. I know the Clippers are playing well. I just don't trust them, bro. I just don't trust that team. For the most part, I watched them play a couple weeks ago, a week ago. I'm not impressed. We could do some things, but it's all basically, if you watch, when I watch them play, it's one pass, I'll take the shot. One pass, I'll take the shot. I don't know if Tyra Lue's calling plays on offense. I'm not even sure. And defense here again, it's not being played. When I come to the East, Boston, I think is going to ride out. They're going to be there when it's all said and done. I think Milwaukee's going to slip down a little bit. I believe the Knicks might get a chance if their center come back anytime soon to kind of take that spot. But I think Boston's going to ride it out and they're going to dominate when it comes to the East.
Ice, what moves are going to be made in the second half of the season in the NBA, man?
Yeah, when you look at, I'm gonna start with the East. I think Boston is solid. I see Cleveland playing real strong. 8-4 in their last 12, whatever, what have you. But in the last division. But my question is though, and I know some of the guys are back off injury. Can they keep that chemistry going? I'm just a little nervous about that because they were playing too well. Now you try to gel these guys back in, issues with minutes and things like that too. I saw Dame last night play what he did in the All-Star game, but no, I just don't think that chemistry is gonna be there for them. I really don't. And then now you got Doc Rivers. Don't seem like they're responding to him. I'm just like, I don't see that. I do like the way the Knicks are playing hard and hustling. I don't know how far they're gonna go. I ain't saying they win the championship, nothing like that. But the way they do play hard, kind of give them some credit there. I think Philadelphia is just somebody you want to root for, but I still think they're a man short. I just do believe that overall. I think Indiana is. I like them. I think they're gonna make some moves. They may move up a couple slots. They're number 6 right now. They may move a couple slots, and they're gonna be a headache in the playoffs unless you have a matchup that you can roll with against them. So I like that from that standpoint. And looking at the West, I'm with you. I think Minnesota may drop a little bit. Denver's gonna stay steady. Denver's gonna be like, look, we're just gonna kind of chill. We don't really need to win it, but we're gonna be about 2 or 3, right? We ain't going too far. So Clippers, y'all want to drop down? We're gonna be right here, and we're gonna be right here in those 1 or 2, 3 slots to be dangerous, and you're still not gonna want to see them. So they're gonna do that. Phoenix depends on what day it is and who's healthy. We'll see what happens there. New Orleans has the ability, but we know what they're gonna do every year. Something gonna happen and they're gonna end up falling out. One team I think is, I'm not gonna say they're gonna cause a lot of havoc, but the way that the league doesn't play defense, and if you don't bring your game every night, and I normally wouldn't say this, but the way it's going, they might make noise. That's Dallas, man. Because if you can get, it depends on who is not. If you want somebody to go off, you just sit the guy one night. So you sit Kyrie down, right? If you want Luka to go off, you sit him down. If you want Kyrie to go off, you sit Luka down, back and forth. But together, they score a lot of points. They can be very dangerous. And in the series, if you kind of come in half baked and half playing, it could be a problem. I do agree the Lakers with Russell stepping up a little bit and some other guys, and then also picking up Dinwiddie. I think they could make a move too. But if it stays the way that it is, I would look forward to this. I know the Lakers are 9, Golden State 10, and Sacramento's 8. I would love to see that like a little playing tournament. Because, somewhere or another, Steph Curry, I don't care what it is. I think if you playing horse or pig with him, that dude want to win. So I think he could cause some people some problems. They may not win the whole thing, but he could cause some problems. But other than that, I think it's going to be interesting and what you're going to do. But of course, I love my beloved OKC. I think they're going to be right there to the end. So you better bring your lunch. Because OKC, like, we don't care about nobody.
And I'm looking at Sacramento. They're hungry. They're hungry. They know they can beat these teams like the Lakers, like the Golden State Warriors. They beat them before. They're taking them to the limit in these regular season games. And those young guys are hungry. If the Lakers and the Warriors want to get, into the playoffs, and if Sacramento is sitting there, man, you might want to put your money on Sacramento because those guys are hungry. They want to win. They want to get far in the playoffs. And the West is, to me, is wide open, other than Denver, because I don't know if Minnesota has the guns to go into the playoffs and kind of dominate. But I look at Sacramento as the team that says, you know what, we've been going at this for 2 or 3 years. We got some veterans, we got some young guys. They don't back down from anybody, and they're scared. And Mike Brown got them playing really, really good basketball. So I would look out for Sacramento. Let's go to college basketball. And UConn is beating teams like they're beating them in the tournament last week. And so they stay at number 1. Houston moves up to the number 2 spot, followed by Purdue, who took it on the chin against Ohio State over the weekend, followed by Arizona, number 4, Tennessee, number 5, Iowa State, who is going to be playing Houston tonight. And that's going to be a barn burner, followed by Marquette, Duke at number 8, Kansas at number 9, North Carolina might be a number 2 seed, maybe a number 3. They're at number 10, followed by Baylor, Illinois, Alabama, Auburn let me down against Kentucky. Creighton, Dayton is playing some good basketball there at number 16. Kentucky moved up 5 spots from 22 to 17. St. Mary's of California at 18. You got San Diego State at 19. South Carolina, a lot of people aren't talking about South Carolina in the SEC, but they dropped about 9 spots, but they're a really good team, followed by Washington State, Colorado State, Texas Tech, Florida at 24, and BYU, who keeps floating in and out of the top 25. Ice, your eye test on college basketball.
I don't have nothing to say because I know Black Thor is listening very intently. I saw he just pick up his pencil. I did see that, but that's okay. We're gonna give it to the people like we're supposed to give it. That's how we're supposed to do it. 2024, we making changes. A lot of stuff has happened. First of all, I'm gonna say Columbus, Ohio. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ohio State over Purdue. You released Coach Holtman. Said he couldn't get guys motivated, and they end up being the number 2 team in the country. To the players, they should be shaming themselves because they showed you that they have possibilities of winning, right? And I know Purdue's asking the guards when they have issues shooting from the outside, you can beat them in the tournament, but there's no reason why Ohio State's basketball team should not be giving that effort every night. And that's where their coach got fired. So just neither here nor there, but stuff is moving around a little bit. I like it. I know Black Thor watching intently. Think Brady come up. I thought you said such and gonna be. Okay, but as you see it moving, I'm not gonna say nothing. We know who number 8 is now. We know Kansas is number 9, right? We said North Carolina dropping 2. So slowly but surely the dominoes are coming into play. Houston, they just scare me with. Every time I see them, they scare me with them damn free throws, man. I can never ever, and I will say this: I don't care how great they're playing, they can go on the winning streak. I can never ever pick Houston to win a national championship because of the damn free throws. I tell my nephew that every year, hit your damn free throws because they will come back to bite you. Arizona snuck back up, Tennessee snuck back up. Iowa State's playing real well. Marquette is looking well, playing good as well. Dayton Flyers, you don't want to play them in Dayton at the UD Arena. They're very difficult to beat. Kentucky's number 17, but for Kentucky, that's right where they want to be. And I'm not saying 17, but 15, 12, 11, because Coach Cal he can ring the bell and get that rally cry going. It's like nobody expects to do anything. You know how he does. When you put them up too high, they really don't deliver. But it's going to be interesting. What I found interesting was I think I was watching Florida Atlantic and what was it, South Florida and something like that. And I was like, well, damn, this team, these 2 teams with their 2 coaches are hot commodities for the Ohio State job. I said, I got to watch it. It was just real bizarre watching it. I was like, damn, these could be the next coaches, one of the next coaches at Ohio State. So, but other than that, it's very interesting. It's turning up. Black Thor, I hope you taking notes. I hope you paying attention because that stuff you tried to pull off last year ain't working this year, baby. Not working. You gotta do some studying this year, bro, because it is wide open. That's all I'm gonna say.
It is wide open, man. I'm sorry if I jumped the gun there. I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem.
No, it's wide open because from what I can see now, man, I can't find teams. I'm like the game tonight, Iowa State, Houston. My eyes will go there because I really want to kind of pay attention to Iowa State. So I don't trust Houston. And I'm like a lot of these schools, man. It's like you watch them from time to time. It's like they don't want it. I'm not impressed with Tennessee. A lot of them don't want it. You look at North Carolina about a week ago. Hey, they took down Duke. They was rolling. Now it's like they want to go sit home and eat freeze pops. So I don't understand, man. And Duke basically for some reason they just like Duke. Duke could lose 100 games straight. They're not gonna go no later than 11. And they're trying their best. To me, Kentucky stinks, and they're trying their best to get Kentucky back up there some close where and try to get Kentucky. And so it's like they're finding these schools in a school that they like. When okay, it's going up high. But at the same time, man, I haven't really been impressed. And Purdue, I mean, I know what I just said about the coach of Ohio State. You can't lose to an interim head coach from Ohio State. I'm sorry, man. You can't. Purdue, so to me, they're like a big faker, man. A lot of these college basketball teams right now are big fakers, man. Big fakers. And even though I'm looking at UConn being number one, but they're beating up on these teams that, come on, at what point are they playing some good schools and beating them up on? So I'm not taking nothing away from them. At this point, I can't say I trust them 100% either.
Yeah, North Carolina, it's Hubert Davis coaching. He's getting out coached, especially in the second half, where you got the guns and you got the players and the dogs to win games, but you're just getting out coached at this particular point. And the ACC is a stronger conference than a lot of people are giving credit to, with Clemson, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest. And I'm looking at some of the teams that got voted to get into the top 25 that didn't make it. Virginia, they're going back to their old regular, we're going to keep you under 50 points and win games. Gonzaga, Wisconsin, Michigan State, they're always looming around. You got South Florida and FAU. You got Clemson, you got Pittsburgh. Those are two teams out of the ACC that are very dangerous. So it's going to be a madhouse in as well as every year in the tournament. You got Baylor. I was really disappointed in Auburn letting Kentucky come into their home floor and beating them down like that. I was really disappointed because they showed Bruce Pearl at the beginning of the game giving a rah-rah speech, before the game, and they just got their ass handed to them by Kentucky. And I didn't expect it from Kentucky because it's like, you're playing at home. Your boys are dogs, and they got beat. But I have to be impressed with the way UConn, I think, beat Marquette. Marquette is ranked they were ranked number 4 at the time, and then UConn just really just beat them down. And that was kind of like the first win from a top 25 team that they played, and they beat them down. Like, it looked like the tournament last year. It's like they were beating teams by +20, and it just looked like it's a different kind of beatdown. They don't look like the same team as the last year, but they were putting up the points. They were rebounding. They were getting offensive, defensive rebounding, and Shaka Smart, his team just couldn't handle it. So it should be interesting. Any other thoughts, Black or Ice?
I mean, I give UConn that win, but at the same time, man, I'm not. To me, and I like Shaka. Don't get me wrong, bro. I'm just waiting for that brother to do something. I really, with his team. I remember he was at, I think it was Texas a while ago, and this is what we get from him. This team looks good for a while. Then they get smacked. It's like the air go out of them. So let's see when it comes to Marquette.
All right. Ice, any other thoughts before we go to the women's side?
Yeah, it's like I said. I mean, you watch how closely these games are, and things can turn on a minute. I mean, I think part of it is down the line if you really want to find out who's going to do well in the tournament, you got to see who's getting hot, and that's no secret. You're going to see coming out of the conference championships who's hot, how many games they won in a row, and who looks real good. I think that's going to be the determining factor because, again, we talk about this all year. When it comes to like Purdue, if their guards do not shoot well from the outside, there's nothing Mr. Edey can do unless he scored 50 to win that game. And Ohio State showed you that, with that being said. So I don't know. They're scary. I don't trust them. As much as I would like to send Mr. Edey off with a championship ring, I don't think you're going to be ringing the bell for me when we put out them sheets in the Final Four. I'm just saying. I can say that early. Even if they do win, I doubt it. But there we go.
Yeah. Let's go to the women's side. South Carolina, I was talking to Pop about this game, and how South Carolina kind of let teams kind of play a little bit and then come back at the end. It's like they can't win like that, even though they're still at number 1, 25-0, followed by Ohio State. You had Stanford, and then you have Iowa, who Caitlin has won the has the most points. But you have a lot of WNBA players and players kind of hating on her because it's like you did it in 5 years, Plum did it in 4 years, and she getting all the accolades of being the greatest player ever. I want you guys to chime in on that. Texas number 5, North Carolina State number 6, USC moves up 3 spots to number 7, followed by Virginia Tech, Oregon State, and then Kansas State moves down 3 spots. They're at number 10. Colorado took a hit, and they're down 3 spots there at number 11. Ice, your thoughts on women's college basketball and Dawn Staley still holding on to that number 1 spot?
Yeah, craziness over there. I watched South Carolina play. I watched them play UConn. I watched them play some other teams too. But Dawn Staley, it's just a mindset with her. And like I told you, I think I watched one of the European players, she might be from Russia or whatever, playing for Dawn Staley. And she's like 6, might be 6'6", 6'7", real tall young lady. She grabs the rebound and she starts dribbling the ball up the court. And I'm thinking she's going to pass the ball off. She goes coast to coast, bruh, and scored. I was like, where they do that at? Don just said one word. I was like, ooh, okay, that's the big girls are playing like that. So they're a force. Have great guard play. The roster's talented. They just had to kind of keep things together. Really surprised Ohio State jumped to number 2. They won some big games lately, but that's a big jump. That's a lot of pressure, especially you end up with the number 1 seed. Iowa, what I find ironic about this is, and I'm not a hater because Miss Clark is really playing well, but they lost 3 games and they sitting at number 4. I mean, it's some other teams out there that play real well. And I know they love the hype about she is one of the great, she might be one of the greatest scorers ever, but your team overall, number 4, well, you got to pay the bills. I like North Carolina State. I think they're going to cause a lot of problems because watching them earlier in the season, they're a very balanced and talented team. They play really good defense. They can cause some problems. Really surprised by one of my favorites, UCLA. They lost 5 games now. I'm really surprised by that. They're a really good team, but I think they might try to turn around by the tournament. Indiana's pretty good. LSU is moving forward. I guess Paige from UConn says she's coming back for 1 more year. So everybody can relax on that too. But this is going to be wide open too because you saw a lot of good teams lose. And I don't know. I just don't think Iowa, again, is not as strong as they were last year. They had some really quality players. And then maybe Caitlin had scored 75 and there I'd be happy. But to just get back to your other point about NBA players hating on her, I'm going to just say this. There's a lot of hype around how great she is. She's a phenomenal college basketball player. Phenomenal. I mean, it's almost she's unstoppable to a point. But we're talking about the WNBA. And I think to just act as if she's just going to walk into the league, like saying somebody just going to walk into the NBA and just be dominant is a bit much. And I think that's what the WNBA players are looking at. Not so much they hate her, but it's more or less the media is just like, oh my God, wait till she get over there. And they're like, she messed around, get tripped, pushed down. We're going to see what she made of when she come over here because there are some very talented women over there. But just to act like she's the greatest player ever, to never, ever step in the professional ranks yet, because ain't nobody playing over there. It's only limited spots now. And it's all about that money. Ask some of the rookies they've been cutting the last couple of years. The money's tight. You flying coach. It's getting tight over there.
Yeah. There are 3 teams that are in the top 25 that people need to take note of. Utah, Syracuse, and Gonzaga. Those are teams that I think folks need to pay attention to. You got LSU Black at number 13 and UConn at number 15. Would you ever thought that like 5 years ago?
No, I mean, we have basically just wanted to kind of shut women's basketball down due to UConn, man. Look what happened. And I'm going to say something, man, with you and your pops think about South Carolina. They're a little bored at times, bro. Don't let that phase you. They get a little bored at sometimes. Yeah, I think they get a little bored sometimes, man. I mean, I'm with Ice Quit, and I'll say this with the other teams, man. I'm with Ice Quit Iowa. how they lose these games and they're still in the top four. I mean, I'm happy to see USC making this movement, but that says a lot right there. But to me, at some point, I'm looking for her to call this young lady to be called Baby Bird. I don't know if she's been called that yet or not, but it's coming, man. And in a sense, it's the hype that they need to really propel college women's basketball. So I get it. So I'm not mad at it like that. I think she is going to be humble when she comes to the WNBA, because not only the fact that you're chirping a little bit, but that's how it is. When a rookie comes into the NBA or WNBA, and you got that big billing, they want to show you a little something. And more than likely, you're going to go to a team that's not going to be that good. So it's going to really take a toll on it. So time will tell. But I think the same thing going over there. Some of these teams aren't as good as they are because they're household names. They kind of try to massage it a little bit, kind of keep it going, because if anything, you want the tournament to have attraction. And that's one thing they had last year, man. When LSU was playing Iowa, people out of everywhere came and watched. If they can build up again, that's, as you would say, entertainment show business.
Yeah, it's you saw this hype last year with Iowa and how they got to I believe the Final Four, and then got to a championship game with LSU. You saw it last year, and I'm not surprised at the hype this year. I mean, she's one of the best players in college basketball, but it's like it's overhyping now. With your team losing 4, and you got USC there, who and Juju Smith, who is playing lights out. And she's not getting the love. Matter of fact, she, almost got arrested trying to shoot in the gym after the gym was over, and they didn't know who she was, which is unbelievable to me. But yeah, you can see the hype already. I understand, you want to get women's basketball hype, but they don't need it. They come to play in the tournament. That's the other part of the tournament that I watch, the women's tournament, because they ball out. So that's not the problem. You don't need to overhype that. That is a tournament within a tournament that if the men aren't playing, I'm watching them. And even if the men are playing, depending on who's playing, I'm watching them because they come and ball out. I watch them more than I watch the WNBA, to be honest with you. All right, Ice. You can hear the crackling of the bats. You can hear Black Thor coming out with the wings and the grill. MLB is back, baby. You got spring training going on. I know there's some trade rumors, but I saw Trout say, "Hey, Mike Trout said, listen, I'm not trying to go anywhere. I'm staying right here where I am. I know Ohtani left and he's with the Dodgers, but I'm staying right here." Any other trade rumors or things going on in Major League Baseball?
Well, when you look at Trout, I mean, Trout is like, look, I'm staying. We just need to get some more people. But if you let Ohtani go, I mean, what's the chances of that? I think he must have a nice home and some nice properties that he enjoys and doesn't have to move anywhere. And even if his team is bad and they play bad, he's in sunny California. So I mean, what else does a man really need with the money? So I think he's content where he's at. As we already know, the Yankees are always trying to move up, do something. So they're looking at former Cy Young winner Blake Snell, trying to get that arm in there too, because they need some pitching. It seems as if the Cubs might be ready to let some folks go, not re-signing folks like that too. Bellinger may not be coming back to the Cubs, and of course the Dodgers. I mean, like they're making money over there. They just keep making their own money. So you turn around, they have somebody coming up. Oh, we got Ohtani, we got this guy, we got the next 5 Asian players coming over there. It's like, dude, okay, you are like the Yankees of the West. My question is, when are you going to deliver? Instead of every 3 years, let's get some dominance going here too. Interested to see what the Astros do after they with my guy over there, Mr. Washington. And, they just keep bringing them in with Dusty Baker walking away. Interested to see how that comes off. But I want to see what Ohtani does with the Dodgers. I mean, I would pay to see him. If they come to Cincinnati and he's going to play, I might go down there and check him out because I want to see how good he really is. I like to see him pitch, but he's not doing that this year. But that's one guy I would pay to see. Other than that, I think it's going to be wide open. Nobody dominant. Some people spending more money than other people, but I like to see more of the smaller market teams play. I was excited for Texas to win, right? Because it was something different, something new. But we got a wide ways to go. And in spring training, Black Thor get them wings out, bro. And get that get that grill ready. And we'll see what happens down the line.
And we might swing by a baseball game when you come here this summer, bro. Go see the Cubs. On a footnote, the Sox are trying to move out of the South Side into the South Loop. They see what the Cubs are doing, the hotels, the entertainment, all that stuff. They want a piece of that too. So the Cubs will have the North Loop, and the White Sox are asking for $1 billion $1 billion $1 billion to come in because they want to build those hotels and restaurants and entertainment just like the Cubs and make some money and get out of that that crap hole they used to call Comiskey Park in that neighborhood that's not making money. Also, they're competing against the Bears. The Bears want $1 billion also from the city. So stay tuned for that. Black, your last second shot.
I'm gonna go right there, man. It's amazing to me. You haven't won nothing, ain't done nothing, and you squeeze these states for $1 billion, man. That's sports, man. That's sports, and as you say, entertainment is amazing, man. What we will spend our money on and what we get our city officials to spend money on, it's not worth it. At the end of the day, man, it's just a game. It's entertainment. It's a sport. Yes. I mean, it's amazing. I was in St. Louis last year around this time in April. And, when the last time St. Louis baseball team may have been relevant? You couldn't tell the fans that, bro. They're walking down the street the night before the game, and it's like you would think they're going to the World Series. But something about baseball, man, lights people up, get people excited. I don't know if it's the fresh air, is it the sun stays out late, or whatever it is. But when you start basically gorilla on teams, I mean, City Center giving you $1 billion, come on, man, that's too much. That's too much.
Basically they're banking on that because they can make it back. Because if you look at Cubs Field, Wrigley Field, and what's around there, you ain't have to go to the game. You can go to different bars, you can go to the hotels, you can go to all these different entertainment spots, the blues clubs, name it, they got it. And they make a lot of money in that area. And the best tips I ever got bartending was when the Cubs were in the World Series and going to different bars and just freelancing. And man, I made so much money that summer. I mean that's that fall. Everybody was coming to the bars. They didn't have to come to the game. So I'm pretty sure the White Sox want that. They want that too. They want the opportunity to get the people who live in the South Loop, they call, or the South Side of downtown, and they want that money. And the money's there. They just got to get there. Ice?
Yeah, I just wanted to say it is now official. The NIL has taken over college football. If you don't know that, pay close attention because NCAA is in the background just trying to hold on, see if they can hold on to something and still be relevant. But the NIL has taken over everything. You see players moving and whatever. And I see it right here in Columbus, Ohio. I've never seen this many moves for the Ohio State Buckeyes and on the football team like this ever. From coaches to players to people getting what they need and right situation. They buying in. Normally they'd be like, we're not doing that. Now it's like stuff is on the line. We tired of losing that many times to the team up north. We got to shake this damn tree up and shake it up and get it right. So, and not just here, it's all over the place. Players moving around, players going from transferring 3 schools and ending up where my dad played, even I know we may not win 6 games this year. NIL is taking over. You better get a couple dollars in your pocket. And if you don't have the money, you better find somebody, a rich backer or booster to do it and make it happen for them. But I said one last thing. I find this ironic though. For many years, everybody was talking about how horrible it was for boosters paying out programs and blaming coaches for letting this happen and everything. And now you don't even think twice about it. It's like, hey, well, that's what we're doing now. It's just NIL, right? Nobody cares where the money comes from anymore. But back in the day, you had the two rich. If I want to get me a tattoo and I trade for some other stuff, some other things, you're going straight to hell. You're a blasphemer. You're going against college football, NCAA. Now we finding out now that everything is unraveled and uncovered, that all of the stuff that we thought was happening. And you can even bet on games, and they encourage you to bet on college football and all of the like, because it's okay now. It's okay now. So have at it.
Yeah. Those of you who haven't seen these, get your Donald Trump high top basketball shoe, gold, with stars and stripes on it, with the letter T on the side. Also, the Donald Trump cologne coming out. He is broke. He is broke, and he's grifted. But his base will buy those shoes. They're $400. They will buy those shoes. And what I'm hearing is that they haven't made all the shoes, so you can put your order in, and they're not guaranteed to give you the shoes. They just want your money. It's like the March Madness. Like, give us the money. I don't know if you'll get to see the game or not, but
Wow.
check out those shoes in a store. If I swear, if Foot Locker, if you put them shoes in that, I'm telling you, you won't be able to put those shoes in Chicago. Don't bring those shoes to Chicago. Take it to the South, take it to Florida, Texas, all that stuff. Do not bring those shoes to Chicago. And God forbid anybody walking down the street with some gold shoes, Trump shoes, you getting beat down. You just getting beat down. That's where this place is. They beat down Trump supporters. Yeah, wear the hat and wear the shoes, and see where that gets you. That's our show. We'll check you out next week. Peace.
Only in America.
Only in America.